Is Steven Lim a smart investor, or he should be getting better advice? Now, first of all, congrats to Steven Lim for actually purchasing his condo, and he shared it on Instagram on 4th February 2025. Hey guys, at least Steven Lim is making a move. How about you? Now, Steven Lim is no stranger to many of us, and he has been always publicly and openly sharing about his personal life and his finances, so kudos to that. When it comes to property, at least I have something to say lah, because previously he shared about his stock investment, his gold bar investments and everything, yeah, but now it's about property, right? But for everyone's benefit, let's recap about Steven Lim investment journey, shall we? A few years ago, okay, in August 19, 2022, Steven Lim said that he sold his HDB and he put about $300,000 into buying one single stock called Singpost stock. After that, right, many stock investors like Hayden Chang, Josh Tan, they have commented, they have made their reactions and they weren't very positive about it. Unfortunately for Steven Lim indeed, he did realize a loss. So in March 2024, he posted on Instagram that, that is the day he officially realized a loss of $120,000 out of the nearly $300K that he put into it. Now, he was also very positive about it. He still said that he suddenly feels very cash rich and everything, feeling very fulfilled. So Steven Lim is really a very positive guy. With all the cash that he has left, April 2024, after he sold the Singpost, he went on to buy 1 kg gold bar. He shared that on Instagram as well. He went to UOB Bank to buy 1 kg gold bar. Now, gold bar is also a form of investment, and in September 2024, he shared on Instagram that he sold his gold bar and he sold it for about 132K. He did not share how much he bought his gold bar for, assuming at the timing it should be about 90 plus K to 100K. So suffice to say, he will have made about 30K lah. 30K represents about 30% gain. I think that is very fantastic for such a short period of time. So I think that is a good investment after all, right? Now, but come back here now today, in February of this year, 2025, he announced that he has bought a condominium, and let's dive into the details because the big question is, will Steven Lim make money from this condo purchase? Now let's look into more details. He now says that I am now officially one of the 2 listed owners in this condo apartment. This deal was totally offered by my seller, offering me to have an exclusive usage of this extremely stunning master bedroom with attached bathroom for Shishi and Pom Pom for life and for my future condo share beneficiaries without having fears to be evicted or being disturbed at an undisclosed amount. This is my major consideration before accepting the offer, because I'm indeed giving him cash too, and this is in layman terms part share purchase, 买公寓 unit 股份. Now he's actually staying in the master bedroom of this condo unit. So number one thing, he did not buy the whole unit, alright? Indeed, what he did is called this thing part share purchase. So let's explain what is a part share purchase. Basically, imagine there was only one owner previously. This owner had 100% of the property. So 100% is a full circle. And now owner decide to actually give him a portion of the shares of the property. So from 100% cut out a bit, and this a bit is given to Steven Lim. Now exactly how many percent is given to Steven Lim, we do not know. Exactly how much it costs, we also do not know, because it's not very shared. It's a master bedroom. I will just estimate maybe about 25% of the property itself. It could be even more because the master bedroom has got a bathroom and everything, but we do not know for sure. So right now, what it means is that this property now has 2 owners, the original owner plus Steven Lim, and that is why, right, this is part share purchase. He is buying like a share in the property itself. Now let's continue to read further. He said that this is a 3-bedroom condo unit apartment with the average listing price about $1.2 million. He also shared that he do not need any housing loan. Whole house is also totally paid with no loans. That means he probably used his cash and maybe CPF, but I highly doubt that he has CPF. I believe it's all a full cash purchase. And he says, I'm surprisingly still rich with substantial cash and gold left. That also means that maybe he did not sell all the gold last year. He still has some cash from his other gigs that he do lah. So that's good for him. He's now a private property owner. Instant level up. Yes, that's right. He's a private property owner. So even if he owns 1% share, 20% share, 30% share, he is still considered an owner. Now, what does it mean is that in future, if there's anything to be done to this property, it will require his consent. For example, we might be familiar with selling a property, it will require his consent. If he wants to rent out a property, it will also require his consent. If the property goes into en bloc, some of you might have heard of en bloc before, it will also require his consent and there will be some proceeds that will be given to him as well. Number 4, this condo part share purchase does work if you have drafted your memo of understanding properly and then there will be a lawyer who stamp it for you. So he did do his due diligence, he went through a proper channel to do it, so that's good. Number 5, he is an extremely good swimmer. So you can watch the video and I leave you guys to decide whether that's true or not. I myself is a poor swimmer, so I think everybody can be better than me. He says his master bedroom looks macam like a hotel and he loves to stand at the railings and everything. The question here is, what condo did actually Steven Lim buy? Now, he did not share exactly which condo did he buy, but given the view from his master bedroom as he panned around his room, I'm able to actually do some CSI detective work and I'm able to find out that he actually bought this condo here. Now, to prove it to you that I found the correct condo, this is a map view, satellite view from Google Maps, and you can see the swimming pool that he's been swimming inside lah. This is the view of the swimming pool. So I found the correct condo. I know the condo name, but for his privacy, I will not reveal the condo name. I will reveal, however, some of the details of this particular condo. So this condo is actually a 99-year leasehold starting from 1994. It's actually in District 19. Completion 1998, which means it is 27 years old by now. If you count from the lease, then it will be 31 years by now. It has 90 units. Well, let's go back to one of my Homevestor criteria, which is the number of units preferably above 400. So 90 is a really small number. Now, why we want to be above 400 is because there will be enough transaction volume and that will allow you to have a very good indication of the value of the property. Of course, it also sometimes reduces the maintenance fees. Now, to have a good indication of value, right, you need people to sell the property often, right? We will see this problem later on. First, let's look at how this condo is performing over time. Now, for Steven Lim Kokok's condo, since the start, it was sold at about 600 to 750 per square foot. And over so many years, 27 years, right, today people are selling for about $1,000 per square foot. So this represents about 2 times gain for the very first owner. Now, a gain is a gain, definitely is a good news. But actually for an investor myself, I think this is a very poor performance. Now let me show you another condo called Kovan Melody. If you're familiar with Kovan Melody, it's actually right next to the Kovan MRT station. Now Kovan Melody, right, actually did way better. So for example, at the start, right, people bought also at about 500 per square foot. And guess what, today, they are selling at close to 2,000 per square foot, which means first owners would have made 4 times their money, whereas Steven Lim Kokok's first owners will have only made 2 times their money. This is one of the downside for having a condo with very little number of units because there are just not enough transactions. Let's understand further. So if we look at the transactions itself, for the whole of 2025, there's only 1 transaction. For the whole of 2024, there are only 2 transactions, and you can see that other transactions are many years ago. So what it means is that for valuation to happen, the valuation is always going to be difficult because the price you are referencing from is referencing from a past transaction and the market may have already moved on, and that is why it's always difficult to price this condo upwards. Let me share with you why is it difficult, right? He bought a 3-bedroom, and the 3-bedroom in this condo is about 1130 square feet, or maybe 1163 or 1141. There are a few variations. Now, the most recent 3-bedroom transaction was actually in 2023, going for 918K. Today, right, if you were to ask for this same apartment for 1.2 million as what Steven Lim Kokok asked, right, people will be questioning themselves, Last time was only 918k, now you're asking 1.2 million. It's such a big jump. And that is the problem when you do not have frequent transactions, because there is no in-between data to show that the unit is now worth $1.2 million. Last data you can reference upon is so far back where it's only 918k. That is the problem with small condos. It's very hard for price to go up. It's very hard for buyers to accept the jump in price. A more reasonable price in buyer's mind will be 950k, $1 million for example, right? Point number 2 is that this condo is 27 years old by now. In terms of age, I think it starts to get a bit risky. Not saying that you cannot buy, but I think there are better options out there. This whole I'm talking about younger condos that will probably have more chance of appreciation. Judging from the video that Steven Lim showed, right, about his master bedroom, it seems to be in a very original condition. No doubt things are still working well, but look at the cabinets, look at the aircon, look at the bathtub. It is really from the 90s. To really stay in this condo and to bringing up to like a modern living standard, just like maybe your modern BTO standard, right, you will probably need to spend $200,000 to renovate the entire place. So no doubt you may spend cheaper for the unit, but you really got to put in so much money to renovate. It's up to you to see whether it's worth it or not. Personally, if I were to stay in this, I feel it's a downgrade for my life. I will not buy a condo like this. If I'm having such thoughts, I'm sure buyers will also have such thoughts. Being able to sell this condo to a next buyer, right, will be kind of risky. People will be talking about depreciation. People will be talking about the amount of money they need to sink in to renovate the place. I think the age of the condo is risky. Now, I know the condo, so I know it's not near an MRT station. That is one problem as well. Kovan Melody that I just mentioned is near Kovan MRT, but this is not, and it's also not near any big transformation areas. So out of my 7 Homevestor criteria, it already failed 3 criteria. But coming back, right, talking about so much about investment, maybe Steven Lim did not see this as an investment so much. He just wants a place to stay. Because after all, we can see that he has now exclusive usage of his master bedroom. There's a smart door, digital lock there, and he's no fear of being evicted, which means, right, probably previously Steven Lim has been renting a place, and now he has no fear of rent and being evicted anymore. I do a quick Google search, right, that Steven Lim is 41 years old this year. Now let's say he has a conservatively say that he can live for another 50 years. If he were to rent a master bedroom just for the price of 1,500 times 12 months times 50 years, it will be $900,000 of rent that he's going to continue renting for down his life. So now that he only needs to pay, I don't know how much percentage of care of the property, but I'm quite sure that the amount he paid is lesser than $900,000. I think after all, it is still a good deal, peace of mind, right, that he has an exclusive use of his master bedroom. So from that perspective, I can understand why Steven Lim will want to do this. But now in this video, I talk a lot about property investment, especially my 7 Homevestor criteria. There's not enough time to talk about all 7. So if you're curious about what the 7 are to help you in your property investment to make better decisions, right, you can watch out the other videos. So in conclusion, I would love to hear from Steven Lim himself what made him do this move, and I'd love to even have coffee and meet him up and really advise him better. And what about you guys? What do you think of this move? Would you support it? What do you think if Steven Lim is your neighbor? How would you feel? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.